I'll get started here real quick. Just from my end, proud of the way our football team played for about three-fourths of the football game. Obviously we're not perfect. We still got a lot of work to do. I do appreciate our physicality and mentality to getting better. I think there was really good growth again today, and we got a lot of work to do, and grateful that we have a bye week to get to work on some of the things that are holding us back right now.
Our first question will come from Randy Peterson, Des Moines Register. Go ahead, Randy.
Matt, I know you've got to look at the video to evaluate, but it seemed like to me the offensive line had a pretty darn good game again. Maybe the best of the season? Yes? No?
Yeah, I think that's is it the best of the season? We'll have to evaluate it. But I think what you're saying, Randy, about that group continuing to get better, that's fact. And I think that group has been impressive. To be honest with you, I felt like it's been impressive since the start of the season. I felt really confident that this could be a really good group and one of the better offensive lines we've had since we've been here. And, they continue to do a really good job, at least physically attacking their craft. And by no means are they perfect, but, I think continue to grow. And you saw some depth today. Jake Remsberg came in when Joey Ramos went down, played three-fourths of the game. And again, I think we've got multiples. I think there's a lot of guys that are hungry for their opportunity there.
Our next question will come from Mike Bloss of the Cedar Rapids Gazette. Go ahead, Mike.
Hi, Matt. What's the story of your rushing defense so far this season and today, and the overall defense for that matter?
Well, I think it's a defense that's got a lot of veteranness to it, a lot of guys that have played a lot of quality reps here. And, I think that it's a group that has really, they've come to work from the start of the season and continue to do good things. And, it starts with having the opportunity to defend the run. That has always been something that's been the utmost importance to us. And, that certainly, I thought they did a great job of that today. And, I think in its holistic matter, we played really complimentary football today. And I think that shows up a little bit in the time of possession. So those things are hugely positive for us.
The next question will be from Ben Visser of the Cedar Rapids Gazette. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Coach, going back to what you said a little bit ago about having multiples along the offensive line, does having multiples make it a little bit easier with the Trevor Downing situation because you don't have to maybe rush him back like you normally feel like you had to?
Yeah, I think it's huge in that situation. Number one, I think Trevor's still going to be out here for a little while. We're hoping that we can get him back sometime this season for our team. But, again, you got to give credit to Colin Newell, who's been an anchor for us. I really think he's done an incredible job with his leadership. Derek Schweiger is a young man that I think has been ultra impressive. And then, Sean Foster, there's a senior, and good football teams have seniors playing their best football when they need them the most. And, we're fortunate that we have one of those on the offensive line, and Sean really went to work this offseason. So, I think you got some veteranness, and even when you lose a guy like Trevor, you got the ability to just continue to work forward. Football is a tough sport. You're going to lose good players, and you got to have the opportunity to have the next guy stand up and be ready to go, and that takes some great leadership around it. And we're fortunate to have really good leadership around those guys.
And then changing gears a little bit, obviously your tight ends grab a lot of headlines, and today all three of them played pretty well. They each had at least 3 catches, and they all had at least 30 yards. What can be said about your tight ends that hasn't already been said?
Yeah, not much. Now, I'd like them to have a little bit better ball security, so then maybe that could be said as a negative. But other than that, I think those guys continue to do great things. We ask those guys to do a lot, and their intelligence, their work ethic, and their commitment to their craft, I really do believe allow them to be very successful. So, I think other than nitpicking, there's just a lot of pride in that group right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question will be from Stephen McDaniel of the Iowa State Daily. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Coach. I'm just kind of curious. What did you see out of your linebackers today and just their overall ability to cover?
Again, I think that's something that we'll evaluate off the videotape. I saw a lot of guys get hands on balls today, which was really good. I thought we did a really good job breaking on the ball. I thought Jake Hummel was really impressive today. So, I see that group really continuing to grow. Jake, first-time starter, Orion Vance getting healthier, was dinged up a little bit in fall camp and has just kind of gotten better and better. And then obviously Mike Rose has been at his best since the start of the season.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Question will be from Jared Stansberry of Cycling Fanatic. Go ahead, Jared.
Coach, you mentioned it a little bit when you were talking about the defense. But you guys had you had twice as much time of possession as they did. How big can that be? I mean, not just for your defense, but even just the mentality of the offense when you're more or less able to completely control the pace of the football game.
Well, I think against a team like Texas Tech, who we've seen through the course of their season already, how dynamic they can be offensively. Part of a game like that, you've got to have the ability to control the pace with your offense. And, I really thought, again, a lot of credit to Coach Manning, credit to our offensive line and obviously our running backs. I thought we did a really good job having the ability to control the tempo of the game. But, man, when you play a team like that, that's so dynamic on the offensive side, if you're not playing complementary football, I think you're going to really get yourself in trouble.
You mentioned it, Jake, at one point. Obviously, he did come in there for Joey. What is it that he's done that's made you guys feel comfortable to put him in that position? And obviously, since he's only a redshirt freshman.
I really think he's super talented, in terms of Jake Remsberg. I think there's two things that stick out. Jake got dinged up early, missed the first 2 weeks of camp, and it kind of stunted, I think, what I saw from him this summer, because I thought he had an elite summer. He really worked through the months of March, April, and May. Jake Remsberg's one of those guys that he's got an addiction to become the best he can be, and I really like that. I think you saw that last year when he was on our scout team and, as a true freshman, and just his work ethic, his mentality. And then you saw him this offseason, again, when the lights are off, there's no strength coach. Jake Remsberg's one of those guys that you knew was just working really, really hard, and I think it benefited him in the months of June and July when we came back together. And then, the unfortunate incident where he was out for a couple weeks, but then got him back ready to go. And, his work ethic, his consistency, Jake's going to have a chance to be a really special player here. And we're really, really excited about what his future is. And, I thought he did a great job responding today. Obviously, the videotape will tell us more, but, we're really proud of who Jake is.
Our next question will be from John Schaefer of WOI. Go ahead, John.
You referenced being pleased with 3/4 of this game. What was the 1/4 that you weren't pleased with, or what makes up most of that 1/4 that you weren't happy with?
Well, I just think some of our detail, we want to be the best version of us. And there's some things today, the block field goal, we get a touchdown called back again today because of an illegal formation. There's some things at the end of the game defensively. Those aren't what elite teams do. And, again, it's early in the season and we got to coach it and get it corrected. Some of those things or some of those people, whether it's repetitives or not, we've got to do a great job of evaluating it, figuring it out, and then as coaches getting it fixed. So, I think some areas that we'll continue to work really hard at. And, we want to become the best version of ourselves. It's going to be detail and precision that'll allow that to happen. And, still some work to do, and obviously early in the season, but it must get done.
And then we see second week in a row with a targeting penalty and an ejection. Is that just the product of the game and the speed at which you guys are playing on defense right now?
Yeah, that's a hard call. There are some penalties that, that there's a speed of the game and there's an intensity. And I don't want our kids not to continue to play with that kind of intensity. We'll evaluate if we need to do a better job of teaching some of those small things. I thought last week, we had that situation, then we had it again this week. So, again, all things we can reflect on here in the next couple of days and see if it's something we need to do better. But from an effort standpoint, from a toughness standpoint, from a ability to run to the football standpoint, we'll continue to play really hard.
Our next question will be from Matt Bellinson of the Iowa State Daily. Go ahead, Matt.
Matt, going back to the question about the offense earlier, it seemed like pretty much this game was the most in control the offense has been all year in terms of time of possession, like it was mentioned earlier, and just getting drives with consistent scores in the end zone. I know obviously you still have to look at the film, but early impressions of what you saw from your offense and how much momentum they were able to grab today.
Yeah, I think last week we took a huge step forward again offensively. And I think we carried that positive growth into this week. And then again, I thought we did a really good job of dictating the pace of the game. A lot of credit's got to go to Brock engineering, managing, I think really efficient on third down. Coach Manning continuing to do a great job, I think really putting our kids in position to be successful. And again, I think some really good coaches on that offensive staff that continue to make sure those little things occur in a positive way. But proud of our kids, proud of our coaching staff on both sides, and obviously a lot of work to continue to happen, and especially on offense when you got so many young guys playing.
I asked you earlier in the week about what your impressions were of this wide receiver room, and you said it's a room continuing to grow, but there's a lot of promise there. In terms of Xavier Hutchinson today, this was probably one of his best games of the year so far, especially yards after the catch. He was really Texas Tech was really struggling to bring him down after the catch. What did you see from him today, and what was working with him and Brock?
Yeah, I think Xavier, again, I thought really did a great job a week ago. I think has continued to just pound away at his craft. I think I said before the season what I love about Xavier is not only does he have great talent, but I think he has elite work ethic. And to me, those are the players that I really like to coach, the guys that not only are they talented, but they just really continue to come to work every day to become the best version of themselves they can be. Xavier exemplifies that, and he has from the day that he stepped foot on our campus. So I'm proud of him and look forward to continuing to watch his growth as the season goes.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question will be from Ben Visser, Steve Rapids Gazette. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Coach, I noticed before the game that Tariq Milton was in the sling. How is he doing, and what's his status going forward?
Yeah, I think he'll be out for a little while. He got dinged up on that long catch last week in the Oklahoma game, and, I feel for Tariq a little bit because, he's been battling some injuries early in the season. He gets himself back, has a big play, and then gets dinged again. So, what I love about Tariq is he's really tough, mentally tough and physically tough. And so, we'll kind of see where he is here through this week and maybe have a better, prognosis of when and how we'll get him back.
Thank you.
Yep.
Our final question for Coach will be from Sam Stuvey of KURE. Go ahead, Sam.
Hi, Coach. How important is it going forward to establish the run and make defenses worry about Brees in the offensive line in that way?
Yeah, I think the reality for us is we've always been an offense that you got to take what the defense gives you. So we'll continue to work really hard at that, and when they give us the opportunity to run, we'll run, and when they give us the opportunity to pass, we'll pass. Thanks, guys.
All right, that's all we have. Thanks, Coach.
All right, our first student athlete is Chase Allen.
How's it going, guys?
You're doing good, Chase. And your first question tonight will come from Ben Visser of the Cedar Rapids Gazette. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Chase, all three tight ends had at least 3 catches and at least 30 yards. What can be said about this tight end group that hasn't already been said?
I mean, each week we have a different way that we need to attack the game to win it, and we've been calling on the tight ends the last few games. You know, it wasn't like that again for all the games this year. So just our numbers are getting called and we keep showing up. We got to keep getting better though. We had a drop today, we had a fumble and some blocking things we got to clean up, but really happy with where the room's at and excited about pushing them forward.
Thank you.
Yep.
Our next question will be from Matt Bellinson of the Iowa State Daily. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Chase. I know the offense has put up more points in previous games than this, but it seems like today the offense was in pretty much total control from the very beginning. And I know obviously the first drive didn't end the way you guys wanted, but pretty much from then on, you guys were ending drives with touchdowns and were consistently taking control of time of possession. I know obviously you have to look at the film, but what was your impression of how the offense pretty much took over today?
Yeah, I'll say the really impressive thing from our team today was just our poise. Like something went bad, really bad right away. And then it didn't affect our next drive. We just hammered it in. And then these drives are long, long, long. And we're getting third downs, we're converting. Fourth downs, converting. We just keep playing the next play, keep playing tough, keep playing physical, and we found a way in the end zone. So if we can sustain that for all 4 quarters, we're going to be hard to beat.
And then Coach said that he was pleased with about 3/4 of this game today. Did he mention to you in the locker room specifically what he wants to see fixed from this team still? I know he, pretty much every week in a win or a loss, he's talking about fixing the details. And like you said, there was a fumble today and some drops. What did he mention that this offense and this team really needs to improve if it wants to be the best it can be?
If we really want to have that killer mentality and end games without trying to give everyone a heart attack, we got to be able to not go 3 and out late in the game. We got to extend the clock and just keep it rolling, give our defense a break. And things like a field goal block for a touchdown, that's such an Iowa State thing to happen, and we got to eliminate that. But just kind of gives us confidence that we can handle that, because a lot of teams that would happen to and they'd immediately fold. So I'd say we weathered the adversity well, but we got to fix those details or it's going to come to bite us in the butt.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Our next question will be from John Schaefer of WOI. Go ahead, John.
Chase, 3-0 in the Big 12 now. How big is the off week, though, for you guys to kind of get refreshed, keep rolling, and get ready for Oklahoma State in a couple weeks?
I mean, it's huge. Like, just looking here, Brees had 27 carries a night, and he needs to heal. And we got a lot of guys that need to heal. So we're going to take this time and get physically right and mentally really strain ourselves to get ourselves to the next level, so that way we don't get caught up in this next 3-game pod.
And then on that front, October is just, you guys have been killing it ever since Matt Campbell came in. What is it about this month that allows you guys to really step up and elevate your game?
I couldn't tell you. It's pretty spooky though. I feel like it always takes us a little while to get into that really good groove, and this is always when we hit it in October, and that's what we need to work on. Is as the season goes on, we're wearing down and things are starting to slip up technique-wise. So that's really what we've been hammering in from the details this team for this year.
Next question will be from Jared Stansberry of Cyclone Fanatic. Go ahead, Jared.
Hey, Chase. Your scoring drives were, I think they were 8, 9, 13, 12, and 11 plays. How much confidence does it give you guys when you're able to go on those, long drives that can be 3, 4, 5 minutes, keep the defense off the field, and kind of break the will of the opposing team?
Well, what we do is we just try and get the first down. And if we do that, things end up usually going really well for us. So if we get that first down, we can get our tempo stuff going, get the right people in and off the field, and just keep hammering that ball down there. And we saw a lot of that today for 3 quarters.
This is the second week in a row you guys have had a illegal procedure penalty for illegal formation, I think, inside the red zone. What does it take to get those things cleaned up here during the bye week and moving forward?
Just executing And I mean, we know what to do, and in the heat of the moment, a lot of the times we're getting the play in, and we're rushing, and things like that slip and cost it. That's a 14-point swing. You know, I caught the touchdown, and it gets called back, and then they block a field goal and return it. Like, that doesn't sit well with anyone, and this game should have been further away than that, and just really hammering in on that, and that comes down to the leadership of us seniors and holding everyone accountable.
Next question will be from Bill Seals, the Cyclone Report. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Chase, what have you seen from the offensive line? Obviously, adversity struck yet again here early on with the Ramos injury, but seemed like that group played pretty well. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Remsberg came in and was huge for us. He did a great job. He had played 0 snaps before tonight, and then he played the whole rest of the game. And, you know, it's a really weird year where a lot of these young O-linemen, they're really good players, but they haven't had a lot of time to develop because they didn't have spring ball. They weren't here for the summer. So the more reps that we're getting in practice, we've changed the way we practice now, so they're really competitive reps, and guys are showing up. So I've got a lot of confidence in our O-line, and I know that, you know, if a guy goes down, we'll have someone to replace him.
And thank you for your time tonight, Chase.
Thank you, guys. Go Cyclones.